Hey folks, it's James Thomas, and today I've got Candy Radaba on the line, a stress management expert from, where are you from, Candy?
I'm from Alberta, Canada.
So Candy, tell me about how you got interested in stress management.
Well, I work as an occupational therapist, and part of occupational therapy is managing stress to help people live their lives in a satisfying way. You need to be able to handle stress from whatever sort of medical conditions or life situations you're experiencing. So as an occupational therapist, I've always worked with people on managing stress.
So Candy, what are some common stress issues that you see in your work as an occupational therapist?
One of the biggest things I see is people having difficulty saying no and taking on too many responsibilities. And so they get overwhelmed with all the things that are going on and so many demands on their time that they get really stressed out because of that. Another thing that I see really commonly, because right now I work in psychiatry, is people who are experiencing depression or anxiety, and stress is often a huge contributor to when they have a relapse or when their symptoms start getting really bad. It's often when they're under a lot of stress.
Stress does seem to trigger a lot of mental and emotional problems, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And physical problems as well. People start having headaches and stomach aches and pain, and they get illnesses like colds and everything just because their immune system isn't functioning at its best and their body is influenced by all of the stress hormones and the getting into burnout.
Yeah, burnout is a pretty serious issue. I experienced some burnout in my work as an EMT and a firefighter, and it really sparked my interest in stress management initially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, often our own experiences with stress can really bring about an interest in managing stress, because when you're under a great deal of stress and experiencing burnout, it's just so difficult to live like that. It's something that needs to be dealt with. And when you start investigating ways to manage that stress, it's such an interesting topic.
So my usual approach to helping people deal with stress is to first take a look at their lives and identify the stressors in their lives, and do the best they can to reduce the number of stressors that they have before they go on to learning coping mechanisms. Because it seems like a lot of people have things in their lives that are there that don't need to be there, that just by getting rid of a few of them, it would get them a few steps closer towards dealing with that stress better.
And as far as coping skills go, you can try to cope all you want, but if there's still an overwhelming number of stressors in your life, you're still going to be experiencing stress. And so looking at what those stressors are and seeing how you can manage them and decrease them is really an important first step.
So do you have any tips for our listeners on good ways to reduce the number of stressors in your life?
When you look at the things that are causing stress, it can really help to make a written list of the things that you're finding stressful or triggering stress for you, and just write it all down and look at what those things are. Because normally when people list all of their stressors, they'll find that there are some things that they'll be able to decrease or to get rid of completely, and like you said, a lot of unnecessary things in their life that are causing stress unnecessarily. So the written list is often what I recommend as a good starting point.
It seems like when it comes to managing stress, that prioritization and time management seem to play a big role in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. If you have listed the things that are causing you stress, there might be some that are really important and you don't want to give up, or you can't give up at this time, and they really do need your attention. But there are often some other things that are less important and you might be able to let go, and it doesn't mean that things are let go indefinitely. For example, some people who are trying to work and spend time with their family and go to school might decide that school might not be a priority at the time, that they want to wait until their life is a bit different so that they have the time to devote to school. And it doesn't mean that school isn't important, it just means that there are other priorities at that time. And so evaluating what's most important can allow people to decide what they're going to do right now and what they're going to do later or not at all.
So Ken, you've got a website devoted to stress, stress management, coping with stress, and those kinds of issues. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
So my website is innerhealthstudio.com, and it talks about stress management, what is stress, how to cope with stress, and different relaxation techniques that can be used to help decrease stress and make your body and mind more relaxed. So relaxation is a skill. Often we don't realize that it's actually something that needs to be learned and practiced in order to be good at relaxation. And the more you practice, the more skilled you'll be at being able to relax and to bring about the relaxation response in your body, which really is the opposite of the stress response. So my website talks about things that you can do to help yourself relax, such as visualization or progressive muscle relaxation, meditation, things like that.
You've really got a lot of great resources and tools there. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So, Candy, do you have any tips for our viewers?
Well, I think another thing that's really important when you're looking at managing stress is that once you've looked at the things that are causing stress and you've set some priorities and you have looked at your values and what's really important, what you need to be spending your time on, then it's important to look at the way that you're thinking about the things that are going on in your life, because outlook can really make a huge difference in how stressed you'll be as a result of various situations. So if you look at a stressor as a catastrophe and something that's really terrible, you're probably going to be experiencing a great deal of stress. It'll be very upsetting. If you look at it as a challenge, something that you're going to be able to get through and an opportunity to learn and grow, it's a lot more manageable.
Well, that's really good advice. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me today and having this conversation.
That's my pleasure. Thank you very much for talking with me.
And I hope you have a good winter there in Alberta.
It's actually not too bad yet. We don't even have snow. Do you get cold winters where you are?
Yeah, I'm in Minnesota, and so we're actually going to drive up towards Canada later this month. Try some cross-country skiing, a little exercise stress reducer there. So hopefully we have some snow to ski in. It hasn't snowed yet. It's just cold. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to visit Candy at innerhealthstudios.com and bookmark my video blog at christian-life-coaching.org for weekly updates on stress management.